When I tell people that blue whales live in my home watershed, I get a pretty interesting range of reactions. Everything from, "Tell me more," looks of incredulity to, "Okay, wise guy," raised eyebrows. For as true as this claim is, it would be misleading if I didn't elaborate further by saying that the closest blue whale, in the summer at least, is 900 or so kilometers from my doorstep, a bit north of where the Saguenay River flows into the massive St. Lawrence. Much nearer to where I actually spend most of each day is a small creek that feeds directly into Lake Ontario. While exploring this creek, often with a dip net and goggles in tow, the largest animal to ever live is hardly top of mind. But it is still neat to remember that the water molecules flowing gently over my feet could be soon bound for a gigantic whale's expanding throat pouch as the animal gulps a mouthful of krill. That's a rather different world than the rocky shallows where a few creek chubs zip around among resting crayfish. The Great Lakes St. Lawrence watershed is one of the many great drainage basins on the planet. Its vast expanse was so famously captured in Halling C. Halling's classic 1941 children's book, Paddle to the Sea, as well as in the subsequent 1966 film directed by Bill Mason and produced by the National Film Board of Canada. Pathways to the ocean are as inspiring as they are vital, so it's no wonder that they appear in so many stories and expressions of creativity. As Ashley Eaton writes in our cover story, learning and teaching through a watershed lens makes a whole lot of sense, while opening up myriad opportunities for place-based exploration. Sanna Vanderross also reminds us in her piece about learning in the Columbia River Basin that developing an intimate relationship with one's local watershed helps, quote, dispel the myth that we have an abundance of available, clean water accessible to all living things, end quote. Over in Liberia, South Africa, astride the Swartkops River, Alison Van Tonder is all too familiar with the lack of abundance, having lived through 2 massive water shortages in 2 cities over a 5-year period. Wendy Fashon has taken a more micro-scale look at the water in and upstream from Greenwich Bay, Rhode Island, by examining pollution from sunscreen and developing a framework for teaching students about invisible toxins. Not far to the west, Pete Salmonson lives along the Hudson River in New York, where he has been engaging students in lively debates about species management. It would be difficult to investigate watersheds without mentioning the Amazon basin, and Charlie Espinosa of the Amazon Aid Foundation does just that in his overview of activities about gold mining in the Amazon. We hope you enjoy the insights about watershed-focused education to follow, and consider joining one of our free Watershed Ed webinars this coming winter. Now, because I couldn't resist at least one water pun, let's dive in. To access this issue and our fast-growing archive of 500-plus ready-to-use activities, lesson plans, and articles, as well as 120-plus webinar recordings, visit greenteacher.com/subscribe. We also have special rates available for bulk orders from your school, board, district, or organization, and all proceeds go back into the nonprofit to help us achieve our goal of making each successive generation of young learners more environmentally literate than the last.